Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, y'all. Good, good, good. I'm tired, y'all. I have no energy today.
You have no energy. What's wrong?
I have no energy. I don't know. I just woke up so tired and exhausted. I guess it's like between a move. Yes, y'all. I'm in North Carolina. What? But it's hot. I would take it outside. Would be like BlackRoses is outside, but it's hot as the Dickens outside. I'm not finna go sit outside in that hot North Carolina sun until 1 o'clock. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
What's
I
wrong with
mean, the
outside?
birds is chirping right now. That's how long we sit on this podcast.
Oh, I'm like,
Girl,
what?
no, I'm not sitting outside in that Carolina sun until 1 o'clock. I be done burnt to death. It's nice now. Like, it feels nice. The birds is chirping. It feels so beautiful, but not at 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, that's when y'all start seeing the sweat pour down my forehead. My shirt be all wet up here, like I've been running, like somebody been chasing me, like I've been running from Michael Myers. I be all sweating on my face, be glistening and stuff by 1 o'clock. I'll be like, what's wrong with KD? She on that crack. What's wrong with her? She up there sweating.
It's the cocaine. It's the
Right,
cocaine,
right.
girl. Mhm.
Good morning, y'all. It is a nice day outside. I can't wait to get out. We actually going up to the outlet today and look at a couple of places today up in Fayetteville.
Oh, you mean
We're
like
going
places
to,
to stay?
yes, we're going to look at a couple of houses in Fayetteville, and then we're going to the outlet while we're up there, the Smithfield outlet, to get the kids some school clothes. So I'm excited because I worked all week, and I'm just ready to get up out this house.
Hmm. Did you register them for school already?
No, I have not registered them for school yet because, ironically, I left the most important thing. So you know how, as a mother, if you know, as a mother, you keep this one folder where everybody birth certificates and social security goes. I left it in storage,
Oh
ironically.
no.
So I either have to drive back up there or I have to have somebody to ship it down to me.
Oh,
But
okay.
what's crazy is that I think I have to drive though because I didn't think about school. And I left all their school supplies up there in the storage too.
Why
And
you
I
didn't
ain't
think
buying no
about
more
school?
school supplies. I thought I had more time. I don't know. I felt like for some reason in my head I was planning it out. I feel like school started in September. That's how I was planning it out.
Usually, yeah, usually in Maryland, sometimes in September. But um, when does school start down there?
On the 26th of August.
Oh wow.
Right. So yeah, I was planning it out in my head that we were still in Maryland. Um so I either have to come back up there. I think I'm gonna have to just drive back up there because I have the big, the big totes that you get from Walmart.
Hmm.
I have the big totes that you get from Walmart, full of the school supplies. So, um,
I don't
yeah.
miss
So
those.
I got it. You say you don't miss that,
I don't miss that at all.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not buying school supplies. Is expensive. I have two big totes full of school supplies that I've been adding up since they've been in virtual for the last, what is this, 4 years now? For the last 4 years, I just been still buying school supplies. So I'm not buying no more school supplies. I got two big totes. Ain't no need me wasting my money. I can put my money in because they don't wear uniforms down here either. So I can put my money into their school shopping and stuff like that. Which I ordered a couple things online. But anyways, how was your week?
My week was eventful. It was good. It was really, 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 really good. I had a really nice, smooth week. I got my car fixed, which was a lot of freaking money that I was not expecting to spend, but I'm glad I had the extra cash to get it fixed. It's still some little minor things that I got to get done to it, but for the most part, the biggest thing has been fixed, which is my engine mount. So as long as that's fixed, I'm good. I can wait on the rest of the stuff. So
Right. Right.
So as long as I got that done, I'm good. But for the most
You
part,
said
I
you
had
had
a
to get your engine fixed.
my engine mount. So I had hit a curve really
Oh.
hard, and it like broke my engine mount. So whatever it did to my engine mounts, so I had to get them fixed. And you know what I'm finding, that a lot of that stuff, instead of going to like Advance and paying all this money, Amazon has some amazing things. Like you can find most of your car parts on Amazon. And I would much rather do
Hmm.
Amazon, but the only thing with that is you don't know. Like, I ordered something called coil pack. Now, the only thing with that is like you don't know if they're gonna send you a defective part or whatever. But luckily, the
Hmm.
only thing that was really bad was the coil packs that I needed. But that was something minor.
Yeah.
But the internet was really good. It was really cheap. So instead of going to Advanced Auto Parts and paying $300 and $400 for a part, I could go right on Amazon and the part was only $85. So
Yeah. That's where Randy usually went to. Randy usually went on Amazon, or it's another place that my that Mr. Leavy uses called Rock Auto
hmm
to get his parts. Because Mr. Levy is a firm believer. He'll buy the parts and you just fix it. He will not let the shop. He will
yeah,
buy the.
yeah. Because you gotta think they buying these expensive parts and then they charging you more to put the part on. Like I ain't doing all that.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. But for the most part, my week was very nice, very eventful. My feet are swollen. So I tried this. So I'm y'all know I'm on TikTok all the time. So I saw that Deep Eddy's vodka has a lemon flavored vodka. And I saw a TikTok that everybody's saying that the lemon flavored vodka tastes like a lemon drop. So I went and
Hmm.
bought some yesterday. And me and my best friend Sharon and her mom, we had this like shots of it. It was good to me, but they was like, that she has a thing about flavored vodka, so it was different.
I don't like vodka. I don't know if
We're
I would
gonna
try
try
that.
the peach kind next. So
Hmm.
we did it regular. We did a regular shot. Then I said, okay, let's try it with sugar around the rim of the shot. We did it with sugar.
Hmm.
And we tried with the Simply Lemonade. The Simply Lemonade is so good with it. Oh my
Oh,
god, it is amazing. So that is definitely a new drink I'm gonna start trying. Trying to get away from dark liquor, but
yeah.
yeah, I like it. And so they have a peach flavored one. We're gonna try the peach flavored one next time. See how that goes. See how that so. But it was really good. I had a really good time.
It
I enjoyed
sounds good,
myself.
but it sounds
It
good,
was
but I
good. I
don't like
ain't gonna lie,
vodka
it was
anymore.
good to me. It was good to me. I was like, okay, because I like lemon drops.
I've
So it
never,
was real good to me. Real good. So
I've never liked vodka. Never.
really, I used to be an avid vodka lover, and then I stopped, and I moved around the board 1,000 times.
Yes, yes, yes. But anyways, with that being said, it looks like we're moving into these hot topics. So, okay, I do have a hot topic that I saw today. Let me tell you about this. I don't know. I feel some type of way. So was I on Instagram? Yeah, I was on Instagram today. And you know how they have the little reels that you could do your own reels and do like the
Uh huh.
audio
Uh huh.
type of it.
Uh huh.
It's this one reel that is really bothering me. Like it bothers me. And I always talk about, people just mind your business. If it doesn't pertain to you, just scroll up. But it's not bothering me to the point where I want to say something, but I just feel like it's stupid. So it's the reel where the guy was on the news and they turned it into a reel where he be like, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. You see that one?
I'm still alive.
Yeah, he
I'm
got
still
shot in
alive.
his neck and he had just
I
got shot.
talked about him last week. I talked about him. He's from Baltimore. The no shoot zone guy. I cannot stand him. I don't like that man. He is a fucking narcissist. He has mental health issues and he refuses to realize it. He refused.
But why did they make that into a reel? And now it's a
Because
thing. They actually
he got shot.
have,
He's been shot. He's been stabbed. He's
yeah.
been shot.
But
He's been shot in the neck before. He's been stabbed. This man literally won't die. Not wishing death on him. Not wishing death on him. But if you live you have enemies out here. There's people out here who will just shoot you for anything. And he has a tendency to antagonize people and then play victim. I don't like that about him. He
That's
is an
true.
antagonist, and
I've
he
seen his
he
videos. That's
picks,
true.
he pokes, and he pries at people, and then he goes live like, "Oh, you see what they doing to me? You see what they doing to me?"
Yeah, I've
But he
seen
don't
that.
show the shit that he do to people. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that man. I do not like him. I don't like him.
Yeah, so they had turned it into a reel, but what's bothering me is the part that the people that are doing the audio overs for their real videos, they actually are making fun out of being shot at. Like they had videos of their car being shot at with the audio over top of
Oh,
it. And
with
I'm like,
I'm
that's not funny. That is not
you be like,
funny.
yeah, I'm like, I'm still alive.
Yeah, like that is not
It's not funny, but
funny.
it's funny. It's not funny, but it's funny. I ain't gonna lie.
Like
It's not funny, but it's funny.
y'all are crazy. Y'all, to me, I don't know. To me, that's I try to steer away from anything that's karma, death related. I don't make a joke out of stuff like that. To me, it's like you really just, I don't know, like you picking, like you, I don't know. It's just weird. Like I don't like people. For it to me, it's like it's a similar to like I don't know when people write Instagram posts and be like, what would you do if I died tomorrow? Stuff like that. To me, that stuff scares me. Like I try to stay away from stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
why would
I
you
don't like
even
those
write
kind of
that?
videos either. I really don't. I really, really, really don't like watching those kind of
That's what it
videos.
kind of reminds me of. Stuff
But
like
yeah,
that.
stuff
Like
like
when
that.
people
Yeah,
write,
yeah.
if I die, how many people gonna come to my funeral? Then 2 weeks later, the person dead. Like, why would you do that to yourself?
I guess it's,
Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
people are weird. I don't like it. It's like it's a reel that makes no sense. But to each his own. I'm not judging.
Okay.
I just
So a hot topic that I want to talk about is two of them actually. Let me first
okay.
do my first one. My first one is how dare the CDC say that it is okay to not quarantine and it is okay to not social distance anymore. Excuse
Y'all,
me? So my
y'all
biggest
ain't learned.
fear is that people are going to start coming outside knowing they got COVID, coughing and sneezing people like it's okay, all because the dumbass CDC want to say that it's okay to not quarantine, to not
Y'all haven't learned.
social distance.
Y'all haven't
No,
learned from the first
really?
time.
Like,
Y'all
oh
have
my
not
God,
learned.
are we not still in the
First of
pandemic?
all, First of all, I'm just gonna step in working in the medical field for so long and getting firsthand news before anybody else got it. Because of course we have to follow certain guidelines working in the health field. So we would get
Right,
firsthand
right.
news before they would give it to anybody else. I don't follow anything. I'm precautious on my own extent. I'm still down here. I'm still wearing my mask and things like that
As you
because
should.
it's too up and down from working in the medical field. And we would get emails every day. The CDC said this, then the CDC said that, then the CD. I don't follow that. I really don't. I just still live and
It is
act
so
like it's still like COVID is
crazy.
still as worse as it was. I still live the same way. I still get the mask. I got the kids. I've ordered them because down here they don't, they go to school. They don't have virtual, so I don't have that option. So I've ordered the Amazon mask, everything. I am not playing around with the CDC because they showed me on several occasions when I worked in the
I'm not
health
listening to
field.
the CDC about shit. Because let me tell you something.
Exactly.
There is no way you're gonna tell me that it is okay to not quarantine. Like literally, okay, so my coworker just had COVID. She just came back on Monday. And first of all, I don't like how it went from you got to quarantine for 14 days to you got to quarantine for 10 days to 5 days. Now you don't have to quarantine at all. Like,
No, it's
what?
14.
It's still
I
the
still
same
do
disease.
14.
Of
I
course,
would still
COVID
do
is here
2
to
weeks.
stay. I would still do 2 weeks because I feel like how did it go from okay, it's the same virus, right? The same virus that's been going on since what 2020. So you mean to tell me this virus, okay, we have different variants of this virus, but you're telling me that same virus can, I don't have to quarantine for 14 days anymore. Now I can go to 10 days. Now I can go to 5. So now I don't have to do it
it's
at all.
not because understand it's not that they don't make sense. They're using you all as science experiments to see what is what. Because if you think about it, go back, it's a new disease that nobody has ever been familiar with. They didn't know how to treat it at first. Then all of a sudden they came up with these vaccines. So what it is, it's that they are testing. They are using us as subjects to test to see what can be done and can't be done. That's why they kept changing the mask. Well, you don't have to wear a mask if somebody else is wearing a mask. You can wear any type of mask. You can wear like what did they say? You can wear the bandana as a mask. Then 2 weeks later it was like, oh no, you can't wear the bandana because you can still, yeah. It's a test.
But then here's the thing: if you're in the hospital, you gotta wear all this protective wear, all this PPE gear, mask, shield, head wrap, all this shit, gloves, all of this stuff. But it is okay. And I get it that, like you said, Nate, it's for people who have not been vaccinated. But even the people who are vaccinated are getting it more than the people who are not vaccinated.
Sure.
I can honestly say, and I'm going to sit here and say it today, I have not been vaccinated
coming
for
out.
COVID. I have not gotten a COVID vaccine. Knock on wood, God forbid that I do get COVID. I have not gotten COVID yet. Have I been exposed to COVID? Absolutely. Absolutely, I have.
I have got the COVID, so I've got the
diseases out here. Like this monkeypox is going crazy.
It is. And then I just saw another one. They just found in China. It was another one. I don't know who I sent it to.
They found in China.
I'm like, really? Again?
It's trying to kill us. Going China out there like, yeah, China found a new disease. China found this, and then they're having a polio pandemic in New York right now because of the water. Like people are trying to kill us. And I thought we was done in away with polio. I mean,
they try to kill us.
Polio, that shit ain't been around since the 70s.
They try to kill us. They try to kill us.
Y'all trying to
kill us.
It is like a plague out here. It's a plague. It's a plague.
But the biggest thing is I have been vaccinated, but I still act like I have not been vaccinated. I still wear my mask. I still use my sanitizer. I still consistently use Lysol spray. Like I do.
I will use my hand sanitizer. I will do that. I will sanitize.
No, I'm wearing my mask. I can't. I'm just, even though I'm vaccinated, I'm not willing to take that chance.
I Lysol my workstation every day because every day at fucking work, all you hear is hachoo, 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 hachoo. Lysol.
I mean, it's just overall. It's just you gotta remember, flu season is coming back. COVID still exists.
Is that even
cold season is coming back. Cold season is coming back. I mean, y'all, you gotta be cautious. You really do.
Okay, let me get to my other hot topic before we have the transition. My other hot topic is, how in the hell is this girl pregnant by R. Kelly? I thought conjugal visits was only for wives. This girl is his fiance. How is she pregnant? Ma'am. And then you're coming out with a tell-all book. Ma'am, when you just on Surviving R. Kelly, now you finna marry this man? Now you finna
They paid for it.
Baby? What
he paid for it. Somebody paid for that conjugal visit.
How are you pregnant by this man, ma'am? Ma'am.
Somebody paid.
Miss Mamas, how was you pregnant?
He paid in cigarettes.
Pregnant by R. Kelly, and this bitch is having his baby, and she's about to marry this man, but was almost
having his baby.
R. Kelly talking about how bad he was to her.
She ain't having his baby. She having somebody else's baby. That ain't his.
I'm trying to figure out. R. Kelly been locked up for how long? Like 2 years, 3 years? How long R. Kelly been locked up?
They snuck his semen out.
Say this. He done been locked up more than 9 fucking months. I'm gonna say that.
They snuck his semen out.
I am confused. I want to know how this girl pregnant by this man.
They
I want
snuck
to
his
know.
semen out.
Because, ma'am, what? You pregnant about, you about to marry him, and you write a tell-all book for what? What are you telling? We don't
Y'all the
already know.
ones, y'all the
What are you
ones
telling that we don't already know?
y'all getting
What are
too
you
hyped
telling
over
us?
this. That nonsense, I refuse. I'm just over all that. Or everything
What
R.
is
Kelly
she?
based. I'm
What is
over it.
she telling us? What is she telling us that we don't already know about R. Kelly?
Right.
He
Oh,
is
she
a
might
child
have to.
predator,
I don't
and you
know.
about
She
to
might
have
be
a
getting
baby
deeper.
by him. I hope it ain't no
She
girl.
might be getting deeper than that.
I really want to know what she writing in this book that we don't already fucking know. That we don't
She might be getting
already
deeper than
know.
that. She might be getting deeper than that. She might come out and say he
What
like
you
the
talking about,
he
Shirley
like.
Pearson?
Yeah, that's what I can say. She might.
What you want to talk about, ma'am? An 11 pages. Let's just say this. But you wrote an essay. This is not a dissertation. But you wrote your dissertation. You could be somewhere in college writing a fucking dissertation, and you wrote about R. Kelly, bitch. You could be
Oh,
getting your doctorate degree off that 11 pages, and what you choose to do? Write a fucking tell-all about fucking R. Kelly, girl.
she
Bye.
could just turn that into a letter and
Yeah,
send it to
exactly.
him.
Like, man, you can write a page a day,
Oh God.
ma'am.
She could turn it into a letter and send it right
What
on
is
to
going
him.
on? Like, let's talk about it. What is going on out here? She
That is
really,
too
really, really is
funny.
about to marry this man and have his motherfucking baby.
Well, at
How?
this point, at this point, the girl is grown, so that's neither
He
here nor
is
there. That's
grown. Like that is true.
her.
But wasn't you just on Surviving R. Kelly talking about how bad of a person he was? Why is you about to marry? Why is you marrying him? Do you still listen
Wherever
to
the
his
attention
music?
is.
Do you listen to his music?
I never listen to R. Kelly music. I've never been an R. Kelly fan.
The hell kind of person are you? Who the fuck don't listen to R. Kelly?
Not me. I've never been an R. Kelly fan.
Not feeling on your booty. Not
I've never been an R. Kelly
just
fan.
rising. Nothing.
I'm
Come
not
on,
really an
man.
R&B fan.
Step in the name of love for crying out loud.
Oh hell no, I definitely ain't listen to no Stepping.
Do you
I'm not an R&B. I'm not a big R&B fan.
would you listen
I'm
to
really
rap
not.
music all day? I don't want to shoot and kill and bang
No,
bang. What you
no.
listen to? What do you listen to?
I listen to a variety of music. I can go anyway. I could do reggae. I could do
Like
rap.
on a given day.
I can even
Okay,
do country.
listen, on a nice Sunday, you want to take a ride, you want to relax your mind, or even any day, any day. Like some days I might be like, you know what, I want to relax, I want to take the long way home, I'm gonna put on some feel good music. What is your feel good go to?
Coldplay.
Okay,
I like their music.
I like Coldplay, I like Nickelback, but
Coldplay, Ed Sheeran, stuff like that. I'm not an
oh,
R&B person. I hate
so you don't listen to old school music like Anita Baker, you don't listen to no Smokey Robinson, like
no. That wasn't played in my house. When I was younger, when y'all okay, I understand. Listening to like y'all and how y'all was raised and stuff, and everybody have, oh, my mother played this all the time, so this is what I listen to. My mother and them, I can remember, I'm literally sitting here thinking back, and I can visualize their CD player and stuff like that. They was listening to Biggie Smalls and Tupac. my parents was young.
like I couldn't. We wasn't like when I grew up with my aunt. We wasn't allowed to listen to that.
Marvin Gaye, yeah, she did a Marvin Gaye. I can listen to Marvin Gaye
Most
when I'm in the
most of the
mood.
time, like when I lived with my uncle was a huge Tupac fan, so that's how I got introduced to Tupac. But for the most part, I really wasn't. I'm not even now. I'm not a big rap girl. Like I'll listen to some track, I'll bop to it, but for the most part, I'll be like, you know what? I really want to listen to Anita Baker is my favorite. I can listen to her all day long. I can listen to like Smokey Robinson. I can listen to the OJs. I can do that. Like I can listen to the Isley Brothers. Like when I'm on a feel good day and I'm having a good time and I just want to, drive somewhere, I'll put on some
Nope,
old school.
I'm not.
Why?
I'm not. My feel
What do
good
you
day
listen to?
is
When you clean up your house on a Saturday morning, what do you listen to?
I just mix the music up. We listen to rap music.
Your kids ain't cleaning right.
We
Your kids
listen to
ain't
rap.
cleaning right. They ain't
Whatever they
cleaning
want to listen to. Everybody take turns changing the music because they have their, how in their age they have the little TikTok kids that they listen to. So everybody has a turn and they change their music up. Nobody really listens
right.
to R&B in the house. I've never been an R&B fan. I have not never been a big R&B fan. I just can't. I can't ride and be like, oh my God, I'm in the mood for R&B. Before I go
What?
to R&B, I will go to reggae or I will go to soca. I would do soca or I would do reggae before I do R&B.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. Mm, mm, mm.
Whiz Kid, I could do me some Whiz Kid. That's a feel good day. If I just want to ride in the Whiz Kid, I'll do Whiz Kid.
Oh wow. Oh
What?
wow.
It's nothing wrong with that.
It's nothing is wrong with it. Nothing is wrong with it at all.
I just
We just
have a variety of
trying,
music that
trying.
I love to listen to.
So wait a minute. So when you want your kids to listen to some good downs in your soul love music, what do you play?
Nothing. We don't
Lil
listen to
baby?
no good
Lil
down. We
baby?
don't listen to no good down love soul music. What we listen to?
Wow. Well, how do you? I don't know. Cause listen, I'm different. Jalen know, like, mom, put that on. Jalen be like, put on this. Or I got a song for you. I'll be like, okay, how you know that? But I can't do. I can't do. I don't know. Maybe,
No, but see, my kids variety. I never. So I play a variety of music, and they listen to what they want. My kids' styles are different. Everybody's styles is different. For the longest time, their favorite song was "Radioactive." That was their song for like the longest. Yes, that
radioactive.
was their song for the longest time. So I like the fact that they are open minded to all types of music like me. I don't feel like, oh, you have to listen to this music because this is black music. Oh, why you listen to white music? I just, whatever
No,
they
I
want to
definitely
listen
don't feel
to,
like that. I don't feel like that neither.
whatever they
But
want to
on
listen
a nice
to.
Friday or Sunday morning when I'm cleaning up, we Anita Baker in here, baby. Anita all day. Stephanie
No,
Mills. You know, we're
no.
gonna might throw a little Patty up in there, a little Temptation. We might do a little
I should, and I thought about that
Isley
before.
Brothers are my favorite too.
I
I love the Isley Brothers. Throw on some
I
little
thought about
Isley.
that before. I said these kids, but surprisingly, they know about stuff like that. If I bring up stuff like Marvin Gaye or older artists, James Brown, stuff like that, they know about stuff like that. So I guess they Google it, and I think about that too. Like maybe I should add that to their playlist so they can at least know about good music, soul music, things like that. But I don't have time. They listen to what they want to listen to, as long as it's not explicit. As long as the music is not too explicit, rapping about sucking, effing, stuff like that.
You just say effing.
Yes, I'm not cursing. It's
Well,
Sunday is tomorrow.
goodbye. Oh, let's transition to this topic because we is. All right, y'all. We're
All
gonna talk
right.
about you parents and y'all getting y'all kids back to school.
Okay, so
How don't
first,
how I don't miss that at all.
the first thing I know, Nate, I should. I'm trying
Yeah,
to. I'm trying to get better.
we're
But
gonna
the
talk about
first,
that's gonna be our next episode. Exposure, exposing your kids to different things, and I
they
listen.
do.
That's a
That's what I'm
whole nother.
saying. They are
I feel like
exposed.
not even just like music, but like life in general. Like that should
My
be really
kids
a
have
thing
always
that.
been like that. But
Wow.
my kids have always been like, my kids are exposed to everything. I don't keep them in a box.
Hmm.
Think about me, think about my mother. My kids have always been exposed to everything
You
outside
got
of the
some parents who don't
box.
expose their kids to shit, and then wonder why their kids be out here buck wild when they go outside because they don't
Mm-mm.
know
I
nothing.
expose my kids to everything, every aspect of life. We talk about it. I let them express their interests. What are your interests? I don't shout to them back for anything unless it's not good for them. Because
Mm-hmm.
you have to. That's the only way that the kids are going to be happy. I don't let them run. Of course, my kids. They ain't running around talking about my fuck f this that. My kids are respectful. They wild, but they kid wild. But you know what I'm saying? Like they not off the wall. So I think I'm doing good.
You better keep doing good.
But
Let's talk
anyway,
about this
yeah.
topic about y'all taking these children back
Yeah.
to school.
So the biggest thing I want to talk about is with the school thing. The biggest thing that I want to talk about because of the thing that just happened, and I've been hearing about this topic all the way down here for weeks now, and I'm all the way in North Carolina about the 9-year-old boy that shot the little girl. And the reason why I bring that topic up is because school is going back. Do you feel safe enough to send your kids back to school? Like, how do you feel knowing, do you have worries about them going to school? The kids that are going transitioning to new schools, the kids that are going from middle school to high school for the first time, the kids that are going from elementary to middle school for the first time. I just want to talk about it. Like, how do you feel about your kids transitioning if they're going to a new school? Do you feel safer? I mean, it's so much going on. You got to think about, like I said, the 9-year-old little boy that got the daggone gun and shot the girl. How did he even know how to use a gun? Let's talk about that. Like, how did he even know how to take the safety off and shoot the gun?
I
Somebody
don't
had to
know.
show him
I follow the little girl's aunt on Instagram, and they're not telling the real story. So the real story is that the 9-year-old and the little girl's brother got into some type of disagreement,
something.
and they fought or whatever.
Hmm.
And
And he
the
went to
little
go
boy
shoot
felt
the
like,
little
I
boy.
want to go get a gun and I want to kill him.
Yeah. He
Now,
went to
who
go shoot.
gun it was, I don't know. Everybody, some people saying it's the little boy's aunt. Some people saying it's the little boy mother. I don't know who gun it is. But
It's not the mother.
for me, it's like,
I have a friend it's her godmother, so I did get a little bit more intel inside the story, but
who
I'm not
gun
telling
was it?
everybody business.
Who gun was it?
Um, I if I'm not mistaken, I think she said it's not the mothers. It's either the aunts or the grandmother. It's not the mothers though. It's not his mother.
Oh, hell would the grandma have a gun? Well, you know what? Grandmas nowadays be 30.
She's a security guard.
Yeah. So it's the aunt gun then. It's the aunt gun because the aunt is the security guard.
Yeah.
So you walk into the house. It was that big of a disagreement or whatever confrontation for you to walk into a house, to go to somebody's house to say, I'm going to kill him. Like, I don't like it. And as for, your question about do you feel safe? I feel like anything can happen anywhere. Schools are supposed to be safer, but we all know that in the age that we're living in now, where there's no gun control, the gun laws are trash, it's gonna be hard to trust to know, like, damn, I feel like my son or my daughter will be safe at school. That shit is hard.
Good.
I
I like that, Nate.
The question
I
is,
like
how do
that.
we
The
show
question.
people how to handle? That's it. Not what
Yeah.
we tell them, but how we show. But you know what? If you living in that type of environment where conflict is not resolved and it's always rah 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 rah, that's all you're gonna know. That's all you're gonna know. And it's like nobody's going to sit down and say, "Hey, what really happened? What's really going on?" Most of the time, kids get playground fights and they stay on the playground. Nobody knows about it. No adult really knows unless an adult is out there and they see it unfolding. But no kid is really coming home being like, "Yeah, I got into a disagreement with a kid on the playground or at school, whatever." They're so hush hush about shit nowadays. Kids don't want to tell. Kids don't want to feel like, oh, I got to go home and tell my mother about the fight I had. They don't want to do that. They don't want to. They're not being taught how to express themselves like that. And it's
Right.
sad. It is
Right.
really, really sad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know because one of my kids, I'm not going to put them out there and tell you which one, but one of my kids, we have battled for a while with his anger management, to the point where we had to, seek out services for him to talk and to a therapist and things like that about how to channel your anger, which doing much better, so much better. But at first, we used to call him the Incredible Hulk because he would go from one. If somebody looked at him and laughed or stuck their tongue out, he would turn into like, I'm like, what is wrong with you? All he did was say hello and stuck his tongue out. But yeah, it's just the first thing that my first issue is pay attention to your kids. Pay attention to your kids. Understand, have that conversation. Don't just sit there and make fun. You know how some parents, they sit there and they be like, they'll sit there and they'll tell their kids, now JoJo will beat you up. You can't beat JoJo, so why would you even go mess with him? You know what I'm saying? You heard them conversations before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. Don't do that, because you're planning something in his head by consistently saying that. So now he the one that's on go. That it's okay for him to be the one that's on go
You
consistently.
know what,
Like, yeah,
Nate?
mommy already
And
know I'm gonna
you
beat
know
you
what?
up.
That is a true statement. However, children are being taught to have common sense by people who ain't got common sense. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Common sense ain't so common. You know, we might
True.
think, okay, that's the thing, that's what we would do. But you have a generation of people, isn't a generation of people who don't
Conversation.
know how to think. They don't know how to, and especially in a city like this where everybody is on go 24/7, everybody is on go. Everybody in this city is like hard up for no fucking reason. But
For no
I
reason.
see, I see.
For
Why?
no
Because it's like
reason.
if I'm walking around relaxed and cool, you think you're gonna come at me out of pocket, and I'm like, oh no, it's fine. I still get shot. And
Right.
it's like if we live in a damned if you do, damned if you don't city. Because everybody here, you're gonna come in contact with somebody who got an attitude about something.
Something. Yep.
Yesterday,
They
prime
having
example.
a bad day.
Yeah, yesterday, prime example. My mother was telling me how she was at the market, and she wasn't paying it no mind. She opened up her door to the car, and she bumped somebody's car door. Now, normal people would have been like, "Hey, you bumped my door." The guy chased them down to blow his horn and be like, "Hey, you hit my car door." But it wasn't even him. It was the female that he was with that had to gas him up to say something because she's on go. Cause yeah, my mother was like, she's like, yeah, cause this, that, and the third calling her out her name, and my mother was like, wait a minute, all from a car door being bumped. I didn't ding it, I didn't dent it, I didn't scratch it. All I did was boom, bump it. But in their mind was like, oh, you hit my shit. And it's like it's always somebody gassing somebody else up. Because what if my mother or my stepfather was those type of people that be like, shoot first, ask questions later?
And it's a
What
lot
if they
of
were
them.
those type of people? You rolling up on somebody about a car door that's not even dented, that's not even scratched, not even got nothing. It's just I
It's a
bumped
lot
it.
of them.
Most people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna let it go. It ain't nothing wrong." Everybody does that. Everybody in their lifetime has bumped a car door or two with your car door. Long as you
It's a
ain't
lot of
scratch my shit, long as you ain't dent my shit, and all you did was bump it, and they didn't pay attention that they bumped it. Like most people don't realize, like, oh, should I bump this car door? Kids do it all the time. First
they
thing
do.
kids do when they get in and out of a car, they open the car door up like it's some damn double door or something. You know,
They
but
do.
this city
But
is full of anger and so on go all the time.
it's not just the
Always.
city though. It's not just the city,
I
because
can't speak for no other city. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
that's
only
what I
speaking
was
on
going to
my
say.
local.
I'm down here in North Carolina, and these kids are just as angered. Their parents are amping them up. You still got these girls that like go, don't let, they pushing their kids to be on go. They training their kids to go. Like, oh, you don't let them, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like Nate said, it's the people that are teaching them with no common sense. That's the biggest thing. But I want to tap back into the gun issue, the thing which that you were saying, like, you don't know if your mother and them were the type that had a gun and was ready to, shoot first, ask questions later. Speaking of guns, as I was waiting to start the show, I also just came across, and oh my God, this is crazy. I just came across an article starting back in school in North Carolina. I believe
They're
it
gonna
was
have
in
AR-15s in the
Asheville.
school.
6 schools will be holding AR-15. For what? Now, I understand due to the mass shootings that are going on, but where are you holding them? How? What precautions are you taking from kids that are in the schools that have that mentality to want to shoot up the school where they can't get to it?
It ain't even that. You got to think about the people holding the guns. People can snap at any moment. Anybody. You
Right.
know, it's in our nature.
Who
It is in
has
our
access to
innate
these guns?
in our innate nature to snap. We're
All
human.
the
It's
all
in
the
our
teachers
mind.
gonna have access to the guns?
Somebody's gonna snap one day. We're gonna
Is it
snap,
gonna
and
be
then we
a
don't know who's gonna
racist
be what.
teacher? Is it gonna be a racist teacher that has access to the gun? Is it gonna be a racist security guard that has access to a gun? Are all the
Right.
teachers gonna have access to gun? Like, you just don't know. This world is so turned upside down. It's ridiculous. Why would you even start that? And as soon as an incident occurs, it's going to be a whole lot of covering up.
Mm.
As soon as the incident occurs, my fear is those racist teachers, especially with it being in North Carolina, those racist teachers that you already see on Instagram and Facebook that they consistently post that show they race and they don't hide behind a cloth. And their fear of, oh, I thought he was going to attack me. That's my issue. I thought he was going to attack me. He's big. He's black. Oh my God. I fear for my life. So I went and got what is going on? Are we going to let them walk around with guns in the classroom next? On their hip while they teaching? Like, what is really going on? Like, there has to be another way for the amount of money that you paying for this daggone AR. And what if the person that you, is somebody who's, okay. So you're wasting money to have these guns put in school because somebody had to buy them. Somebody had to be trained. So, you're paying for someone to be trained to be able to utilize these guns. Is every teacher getting AR or shooting lessons because somebody has to have access to the gun? So you're paying for this, or is this coming out of the teacher's pockets as to who, has access to the guns? Like, I feel like it's a waste of money. Like, there has to be other alternatives. I understand people don't like the whole, certain schools and certain areas don't like the whole scenery of, oh, security is in the school. The school is just the look. Oh, we have security. The school is not a good school because they're secure.
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be other alternatives for the amount of money that you're paying for the guns, for the training, for whoever's going to carry. I'm pretty sure you have to get insurance. There are things that go behind that. For the amount of money, do something with the doors. There has to be set certain alarms. For the amount of money that you pay for this, you can better secure the schools.
Yeah.
You can put
I
that
mean,
same money into better securing the schools. You can utilize, there are security companies. And because of so many mass shootings, I'm pretty sure you got a grant for everything else. You got all these PPP loans that went out. You can find a grant to figure out some better security other than just arming a school with ARs. Like, that just makes no sense. That's just stupid. It makes no sense. That's my
I don't.
piece.
I don't. I mean, it's kind of hard because, like I said, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can choose to homeschool your kids, but it's like, damn, how are they
You
getting any
can't,
social
yeah, you
skills?
can't, yeah, right.
How are you? It's like we are living in a damned if you do, damned if you don't society, and it's unfortunate that we have laws that protect people with that people protect people with guns or that people want to have with guns than we do about racism and skin color. It is so fucking bizarre to me that they don't want to control the guns that are coming in and out of this country or whatever, or however people are getting these guns, because let's face it, it's just not, oh, you going to the store buying this shit. Some of these guns are not store bought. Some of these guns and these
No, they're
these
not.
things people have are not something that you could just walk into a gun shop and
They're
say,
not.
I like that, let me get that.
They're
Some
not.
of these people are having access to military grade weapons and are using it for whatever reason. And it's so sad. I feel
But
so
but
bad.
here's the other thing. Most of these kids, I'm not taking a side of these kids that come in there and they shoot the schools and stuff up. But you got to think about where they started. Almost half of the stories is the same. If they're not already raised in, a racist household, the majority of them, it's because they've been bullied. So let's take it there. Instead of having guns in the school to protect them. Let's get down to the bottom of, or let's get to where it's starting for these kids to feel like it's that bad that they have to come in and shoot up the school. Let's touch on that. Let's get to those components. Let's put more money into that. Let's put more money into figuring out how to get these kids the help that they need. How to stop these bullies from pushing these kids to that point. Do something about the bullies. You'd rather put more money into guns and all this other stuff versus pushing the bully all the way out. And most of the time, it's because the teachers turn their head. The teachers turn their head to it. They don't say anything. It's just like, oh, you gotta fend yourself, or I don't know. I don't know how they're taught as far as bullying is concerned.
Excuse me, teacher speaking. Sorry.
Get you to come in like that.
Uh,
Excuse yourself.
most of the
I feel like
teachers
he's
are
the biggest person
reporting.
to.
Most of
You're
the
the biggest
teachers
person to
are.
comment on this because you're going to.
I'll say most of us
Right.
are reporting. Most of us are reporting. Most of us are doing classroom management. The problem is, so in today's world, and most of the, especially the inner school systems, you can't send a child to the office anymore. That's not a thing anymore. There's not a place for them to be. Now, in most cases, if they're a severe problem, they'll let them sit there. They may send them to the counselor, but at some point, that child is coming back into that classroom.
But
Chances
why?
are,
Why can't
if
you
that,
send them to the
Be over so they can go
Why
to the
can't
next
you send them to the
class.
office anymore?
because that's not a part of the process anymore, because teachers are now
Well,
being
that's what I'm
forced.
saying.
But it's not on the teachers though.
No, I'm
This is
not
how the
saying it's
school
on the
system.
teachers. I'm saying it's on the. Well, I'm not saying it's on the teachers. Let me take it back. If
Mhm,
it was directed that way, I don't mean the teachers. I mean the school system in itself. I mean
mhm,
all of the school system in itself. Anybody that's within the school, the principals, the guidance counselors.
mhm.
It takes a team. It
But
takes
but
teamwork.
but the reason the school system is the way it is because if I send a child to the office, what are they gonna do? Contact the parent. Now, and especially in a lot of these public school systems, I'll say 60% of the parents, you you don't have a working phone number, or it's not a reliable number, meaning it may be your home number, it may be your cell phone, but you work at Amazon, so you can't answer your phone. So who am I contacting?
Wait a
Most of
minute,
the
all
You
of
know
parents
these
what?
don't
kids who
come.
are
It's a
smart.
very
You got
small
most of us
percentage
who
of
got cell phones and are putting their
Well,
own cell phone number down.
make the
yeah.
go make the parents more reliable. Make the parents more
How?
accountable. Guess what? You're gonna miss
How
work.
do I do
The
I
kid
do? But do you
don't
kick
bring that
the
kid back to
child out?
school.
Do you
Yep.
not? But you can't do
Yep.
that.
If I
You
got to sit
can't.
here and put all my time, if I got to sit here and put all my time into raising your daggone kid, oh, you gonna miss some time off of working though. Nobody like
But
to miss
how
a
do
check
you?
when you
But there's
working
no
hard.
way to make
And
that
then you're
parent
gonna have that
come. There's
parent
no way to
who's
do
gonna come
that.
up there and be like, "Why the fuck can't you deal with it? It ain't my responsibility." You're
Guess
gonna
But
what?
have
Y'all
there's,
that
gonna
there's
sit
too.
home
no way.
together till y'all
After
figure it
being
out.
in the
It's
school
an
system
option.
as long, and see, the two of you are parents who were active in your school and the schools your children went to. That is not a typical thing. It is not in certain school systems that got the resources that parents
Mm-hmm.
they send their children to certain schools. But in the rest of the schools, how do you make a parent? Because it's not illegal for you not to come up there because your child is acting up.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even really allowed to kick the child out of the room
So
for being a disruption. We're not even allowed to call them a disruption.
How you said to come up with solutions when you talk about problems, come up with solutions. A
Mhm.
solution would be, this is what I'm saying, and all this is small stuff compared to what's happening now as far as all the money that's being spent for these guns.
Mhm.
Simple solution: find the parent. If you find that parent, and that's simple, that's easy, it's simple. Why can't that happen? It's simple
Because
and it's
that
easy.
has
You
to then
start signing
be
up
that
parents.
has to be something that then goes through the city council and through the school up to the rights of the school board and then to the city council. That's something that has to be voted on. That's like a law. That has to become a law. And we know that politics in creating laws and we couldn't get people to wear fucking masks. And
Right.
and that wasn't a law, but the word has escaped my mind. But we couldn't get people to wear masks to just protect each other. So how are we going to create a law that fines a parent? Because parents are already fined and or giving jail time if their child misses a certain amount of days. That is already in effect. But the politics on getting that into a law or into a policy, nobody's going to want to vote on that because
You
everybody's a
know what
parent.
though?
Mostly everybody is a parent today, and nobody wants to be under the guys. You know your child isn't well behaved. You know that,
Right.
but you
Right.
still send them to school, and everything is then put on the school system to create solutions. The solutions are already there. There are guidance counselors, social workers, behavioral management specialists. All of these people are already in the school, and your child is still acting plumb crazy. So then what?
Exactly. So
We
that's what I'm
provided the
saying.
resources.
There
So now
has
what?
to there has to be some way to make the parent more accountable. It has to be, because it makes no sense for my child to keep having to go to school to deal with this one,
But we
I
can't.
don't want to say
But the
idiot
system
child,
is. Guess
but
guess what happens? Guess what happens when we kick that child out of the school? That school then loses money.
Yep.
So they
this
not
is
they're not kicking children out. They're not expelling children. They're not suspending children because that costs them money. If that child leaves that school, that's one less dollar that school has in their budget. So
I
schools are
understand what you're saying.
schools are dealing with problems because they don't have any other choice.
I
There
understand
are
what you're
schools that are
saying.
taking on every misbehaving child, and there are no special schools for children like that anymore. They're jails, they're
I feel
facilities,
like,
but
yeah,
those are
and that's what
court
I feel
orders.
like. I feel like it's I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like as far as education is involved, as far as these schools are involved, I feel like they're all being kind of put on the back burner. Everything school wise is being put on the back burner, like just being thrown, like it's the least amount of things that you have to worry, which is crazy because you need an education in order to succeed in life. You need some type of education. You need some type of
Well,
education to be able
the
to
two
survive.
people, the people getting paid to have that opinion are biased because I'm getting paid for this. The two people that need to make a decision is that child and that parent. The school system is out of it because the school is going to be open whether your child comes here or not, whether you come here or
Right.
not. But the problem is the two people who need to make that decision, the parent. I, Either we beefing, the two parents are beefing with each other too much to care about the child, or I'm in my own world, or I'm working, or I don't have it, or whatever the excuse may be. And then the child falls through the cracks of whatever those decisions from the parent is. The school system, and not defending it, but the school system is overflowing with resources. They are, even the poor ones. But the problem is the money is being given to the bigger schools for achieving, and it's being taken away from the schools that need that because they don't have a certain number of students there because everybody's taking their children to the better schools.
I
And when you
can't be
do that, you're taking money from the school. Or,
right.
a lot of these children, if their behavior is that bad, they're not necessarily coming to school every day. And that's why they're not getting the IEPs and the resources that they individually need because the school system is not willing to invest in a child that is not even coming to school or coming to school on time every day.
Right. Right.
So the problem
There
becomes
has
a
to be
circle.
some
Who, the
change.
chicken or the egg? Which one comes first?
One come
And
first.
unfortunately, everything is a bottom line, and that's why I don't agree with having a CEO as the head of a school system because
Right.
everything becomes a bottom line. The school that I'm
Right.
I'm working at now. It's just the
It's ran
last
like
year
a
for it.
business.
Right. This the
It's ran
last
like
year
a business.
for it. So instead of them finding another maybe charter school, the school is big enough to have two schools in it. So instead of them finding another school that will come and join that school that may need a space so they can have two different schools there and that help them pay for the building, they just go close that school down. So now all these children are being
All these
displaced and having to
children.
go other places.
And
So
a crowd in a school that's probably already crowded.
right. And you have schools that's overcrowded, but then you're telling this one school right here, they don't have enough students, so we're going to take away your funding. Instead of just directing those children to come to this school, so at least everybody has a budget. Or because what happens that every February, they just determine what the next school year's budget is going to be. So principals project how many students they're going to have. So at the top of the school year right now, up into, I believe, the first month or so of school, if I meet my budget, if I meet my quota for students, I can do everything that's in my budget because my budget has already been set. If I have less students or if I have more students, I get amount per student over. I think over nine students, you get a certain amount per student. If you lose students, for every student you lose a percentage of money. Every child brings in a certain couple $1,000s every school year. And if I lose a student, I lose that out of my budget. So that means I can't have an art class or I can't have a certain enrichment class or we can't have this or this has to be cut. And then they start being cut from right. After school programs get cut or art programs or facility maintenance get cut. So the legislation has to start from protecting schools from not losing money. So just give every school the
Well, they're
same
not even.
amount. And if they achieve, you can give them more. But every school needs to just have the same amount because now you're telling this school, because I have 80 students and you have 100 students, your school is more important than my 80
Right.
school.
Right.
So,
I
but,
just
but
feel like
blame
this.
blame is tricky though because everybody is to blame. The student, the parent, the faculty, the staff. There's blame all around, but everybody is, especially teachers. We're only allowed to do what is possible. So we don't have the money, we don't have the students, we don't have and now the problem is there's not enough faculty to deal with students. So they're hiring people who would never be qualified to be in that school with your
That
child
is true.
to do
That
it.
is true. Because when my kids did virtual this year, they came out of nowhere in the middle of the school year and all these random people popped up. And I believe my son said one of his teachers for virtual was like a retired military because he was like a retired a veteran or something like that. And I was
He
like,
was
wait,
a
what?
substitute. But I mean,
He didn't even know how to read. He didn't even know how to maneuver through the how to work the virtual. Like the kids had to teach him like how to go
But
in
the
and
well,
find
teachers
like
and
now are
that's
getting
the
so set up.
well,
The teachers
well,
now
that's
are
the
so
part
set
because
up.
they made it so complicated to even do that. But a lot of the people are retired people. They were at some point they were
they
pulling
are.
the assistants off the school bus in order to
They
be
sure are.
substitute teachers. So
They
everybody was a
sure are.
substitute, and
They
and
sure are.
it's unfortunate, but we were hemorrhaging staff and teachers, principals, teachers, staff were all quitting because it's not.
It's
You
sickening.
got so much that's
It's
being put on you that I gotta be your child parent now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten to
this
that
is
point now. I'm a parent now.
stressful. This is stressful because I still have one child that's just starting school this year. And
Mhm.
just to the fear of everything that's going on, like I don't know about everybody else, but I am a firm parent in education, education, education. I want the best education. I want to make sure they get everything that they need to get out of the education so that they can grow up to be able to just do life, just do what's supposed to be done as far as life, grow up, learn to count, know how to count money, know how to count their finances, things that you're supposed to learn in school. And it is crazy. Like it's really drenching, like
I'm
in my
telling you,
stomach.
as of
Why
right
I just
now, I really am somebody who has taught in public schools and I went to private schools. There's a difference, obviously, but
yeah.
really, if that teacher is dealing with classroom management all day, your child
Mm-hmm.
isn't learning anything.
The child
And
isn't learning it.
students today have learned how to divert the attention of the classroom so they don't have to do any
Manipulated.
work.
Manipulated.
And
Right.
I can't even put that child out. Now, me, I'm never going to follow that rule because you're going to sit outside this classroom. And if somebody
Right.
walks fast, then they can deal with you, but I'm not. But
Right.
it it
Because
is
I'm
the
not
very
here for your
distracting to
shenanigans.
children who want to learn. And there's a very small percentage of children who come to school ready with the
Learn.
foundation to learn. And then it's everybody else that fall in the middle who just go follow the leader. And then it's the very small amount who are causing the problems. And those parents don't feel like coming. They're tired of coming. They're tired of hearing because they can't control them at home. So how do you expect for us to control a mess? What magic do I have that you don't have as a parent?
Mhm.
So I just wish more parents could sit in the classrooms like they used to. Like I wish
Used to,
we could go back to a space
yeah.
where
Yeah.
parents could sit in the classroom. But
Yeah.
how many parents? But you will go up there, but your child isn't the problem. It's gonna be the little young man that you see like, and you gonna say, I don't know how y'all deal with this. I hear that all the time when a parent does make their way to my room. But you're gonna come. It's gonna be the child that needs a one-on-one parent there with them. That they not gonna come. They busy. At the end of last year, I had this one young man who was just a terror. His mother told me at some point, I'm getting ready for my daughter's prom. I don't have time to come up there. And this is her youngest child.
Her youngest
And
child.
we're saying your child may be kicked out. Well, I'm dealing with prom right
I'll
now.
deal with that when it come when the time comes.
And then after prom, she went on vacation. And
Mm,
I was like,
mm.
so are you gonna come? And then when she finally came up there, I had every right to call the police on her because she beat that child ass from one side of my room to the other side. And
And then
that's not a
he's
solution.
gonna come right back to school the next day and act a pure
Because
fool.
now he
Mhm.
will be mad at
You.
me.
Now he
Now
mad
he
at
will
Yeah.
be worse.
you.
Because now he has an attitude because I'd have got him embarrassed in front of the class.
Right.
So now he really
He
gonna act a
probably was
fool.
the main one in there like, yeah, call my mama. My mama ain't gonna do nothing.
That's what
Well,
he and
why
that's
she
that's
ain't
He
be
exactly
went
at
up there and
home?
whipped his ass.
that's
But that's
exactly
the
what
thing. You can beat them at home instead of saying I can't deal with it. The same beating that you try to display for show, which I feel like it's for show. Because why did you have to come up there to do it when you just said you couldn't deal with it? You could have dealt with that at home. You could have whipped his ass at home
well,
But
that's
for
see,
you
what the
having to
whipping his
problem
have
ass
is.
at
some
That's
home
what
ain't
space.
gonna
he's
solve
doing that
nothing.
wrong.
He
The
needed that
problem
first-hand
is,
embarrassment. He needed that. He
but
needed
but
that first-hand
but
embarrassment.
I
yeah,
don't think that's
yeah.
gonna help.
Certain children would need that. Certain children that's the first time it happened. They're not getting ass whoopers at home, and it just is a drastic. That would have definitely changed me as a
Right.
child who may have been bad, but I wasn't a problem child. If you already getting this mother and son fought each other. This little boy in the
Mm,
fourth grade, they fought each other. They
mm.
that wasn't he she just wasn't just beating him. They were fighting each other because he was fighting back. His
Then they
face looked
used to
like
it.
she was. If you saw his face and her face, they were strangers on the street. They were
They
strangers.
used to it
They didn't
then.
know each other. They used to
That's
it.
something they was used to.
hmm So how do we
I
fix that?
I just I have teenagers and I have a fourth grader. My fourth
Mhm.
grader is so Cameron is
Oh,
so tiny. So I'm just sitting here. Cameron is so tiny. You can't even you would think he's still supposed to be in like the third or second grade. And he is the sweetest. And all of my kids overall, I can say I'm not going to jinx myself and I'm not going to wood. I have never had an issue where a teacher has said, I've had a problem with them. I have a problem
mhm.
with them. You need to come. Because it's just a look that I give them and a look that they father give them like, I
But just
wish you
know,
motherfucker
and
would.
your child is going to the fourth grade. And if that classroom, and say they get a new teacher this year, that's our first time teaching or whatever, and there's a
They all
problem,
get new teachers. They all get new
it's a
teachers.
possibility. It's a possibility. I mean, like this their first time teaching, like that's their first year teaching or something like that. Or
Oh
they,
yeah, yeah.
or they're a substitute because they ran out of teachers. Any factor could equal up to your child now becoming a problem because at some point your child will get tired of being patient and waiting for
Right.
that teacher to be able to handle that student or to be able to manage that classroom. And then you will get a
But it's
call that your child is now being disrespectful. And you like, my
do
child?
you feel like okay,
Mm-hmm.
but do you feel like communication is a factor? Because that's what I do with my kids. Anytime I feel like they're a problem, or kids gonna be kids, so kids gonna be angry. Kids like the one that's going to fourth grade, Cameron, sweet as he can be. But one day he came upstairs, running upstairs, and he's crying, crying, crying. I'm like, Cameron, what is wrong with you? And he sat there and he cried. I said, Cameron, now that's one thing I don't do. Even Gemma, my 5-year-old, that's one thing I don't do. You can't just sit there and cry and not explain to me what's going on. Talk to me. We need to talk this out. And he got up, he turned around, we had a conversation. Do you feel like that's a way of not the solution, but some type of way that's preventing these kids or causing these kids to act like that is the lack of communication, because you don't even know where the issue is. You don't know the reason why your child is upset. You don't know the reason why your
I
child
said
is.
that a few minutes ago. Children are born with those abilities. Some children are naturally um, able to be open and communicate. Some children have that, but that's still something they saw. That's still parents that talk to their children and ask their children questions. When I have
Right,
children that are like that, first thing I ask, do y'all communicate with each other? I had a young lady
right.
last year who she made her mom, I think, was making up or exaggerating that the dad abused the young lady. And
Mm,
abuse from discipline from a mother is nurturing. Discipline from a dad is seen as abuse. So
mm.
this young lady was being fed that men should not raise their voice to her, meaning she shouldn't be disciplined by a man at the end of the day. So me coming in as her teacher in the middle of a school year, and if she's not doing what she's doing, I'm gonna be a stern, and I may have to raise my voice and ask her to stop talking or to have a seat or calm down. And to her mom, that's me abusing her. That's a form of abuse to her. So you have to,
I
as
can't
a
believe this
parent,
is really
understand
happening.
how you're communicating with your child. One, you got to make sure you good. Because if you're not good, you're going to be doing what this mother was doing.
Yep.
Telling me, and from talking to the daughter, the mother yells at home. Now, the mother lied to me and said she don't yell at her child when the
Of course,
daughter
they all
clearly
gonna
just
say
felt,
that.
right. Right. It's right in front of the principal. Of course, you will say that. But at the same time, you have to understand how you're communicating with your child. If we go back to the incident with the young man who shot somebody, he saw someone handle conflict that way. Whether it was in
Right.
his home or, like you said, on the playground, he witnessed someone handle a situation like that. For him to even know the footsteps to get to a gun, to get to this person and brandish it. I don't blame that young man. I don't. He has no fault in that.
I don't either.
Showed
That's
him
what
how
I
to
gotta say.
do it. Someone
Somebody
showed
showed
him
them.
how
You're
to
right.
do it. But
You're
he's going to
correct.
pay the
Because
cost. He going to pay the cost of someone else's demonstration or teaching him something. So communication is definitely key, but children aren't listening. Children are so wise, but so dumb at the same time because they're not listening to what you tell them to do. They're watching what you're showing them.
right,
So
correct.
if
That's
you're
correct.
contradictory in what you're saying, first of all, children are going to call you out because the moment you
Correct.
tell them to
Right.
do this, well, mom, that's not how you do it. And it
Right.
doesn't even dawn on the parent sometimes. Damn, I'm showing him. My mother was a yeller and a screamer all day long. And to this day, I'll get loud, but the moment I find myself, I'm a retreat because that shit gets on my nerves. But it still showed me how to then, like, I can cuss somebody out because I heard my mother do it.
heard my mama do it.
That's how I cuss people out. I use motherfucker the same way my mother used motherfucker.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not seeing children are doing what you see. They're not doing what you say. And it's contradictory to what we teach them. Do what I tell you to do, not what you see me do.
Mm-hmm.
But do you
Mm-hmm.
watching it?
So coming into this school, knowing that you're preparing yourself for this new, are you going back to school this year?
I'm literally, they sent me my curriculum, they sent me, my assignment, and I'm still praying on it because one, what I'm being paid for it does not equate for the stress that I have to deconstruct myself when I leave it. So I'm doing more work distressing myself before and after that school than I am simply preparing for. Like you don't even what you prepare for doesn't even equate to what you got to deal with when you're in the classroom. And I'm not the person, fuck being a teacher, I'm not the person that's going to let your child say whatever they want to say to me.
Because I'm going to say it
Right.
back.
Right. And I don't, and my
You
issue
can't
is
be a
I don't
teacher
drive.
either. You
I don't
can't be a
drive.
teacher either.
And my issue is I don't drive. So I have to walk through the same neighborhoods that these children live in. So I have to
Yeah.
carry myself in a way of authority because they will try me. I've had children try me
Oh, yeah.
and
They
got
gonna
their
try.
ass beat on the light rail or on in the neighborhood. And then their parent come back to the school. You can't come back to school because we wasn't on school property, baby. Your
School
child made an
property.
adult
Right.
decision and got an
Right.
adult response.
Right.
So
True.
maybe I was just built different. But in my day, you didn't put your hands on the teacher because they damn sure will put their hands on you. And
No, you
that's
don't
just
put your hand on an adult, period.
on
Good.
anybody.
A lot of these kids are being brought up with no sense of responsibility or respect for older people. They don't respect their grandmas. They don't respect their great grandmothers, their uncles,
Nope.
or anybody. They don't respect anybody. So how do you expect for them to go to school and give a teacher, somebody they don't know, an
Yeah.
adult some fucking respect? They don't have it.
And I'm still not the person that I'm not going back and forth for the child. I'm gonna deal with the parent because that's where the problem is coming from.
That's what
The problem is the school system and how they're dealing with this. Because I do think there needs to be a policy of if your child is consistently being a disruption, I can't have you in my classroom. But as a
Right.
teacher, like I said, we're not allowed to sit the child outside. If we put the child outside, we can't close the door. So guess what's happening? My class from last year, my light was outside my room. I don't know who the fuck would do that, but my light was outside my room. I had children kicking my door. I had children slamming my door, throwing shit in the door, turning the lights on and off. How the fuck am I supposed to have a classroom? And that's happening.
How?
Right.
And it becomes my fault because they don't get along with me. So it got to be something about me or something that I'm doing. So we're teaching our children if you can't get along for adult, it's that adult's problem. No, that's your parents' problem.
That's a parent problem.
Right.
That's
That's
not
true.
the teacher's problem. That's not that adult's problem because the adult has come there to do what they're supposed to do. You liking me is not a part of that. That's not. There's nowhere in my contract, my teacher contract, where it says my students have to like me. That's not. We're not here to be friends. We're not playing. Fortnite when we leave here.
True.
I'm not your homegirl.
Right.
So
We're not good Judies. No, we're not that.
true. So with that being said, Nate, with that being said, and with you thinking about going back or you're going back, what can you give your teachers what you thinking about going back? Let's just let's just not think. Okay, so let's not just.
If I went off a thought, I wouldn't be there. I'm praying about it. That's why I pray.
So let's not think about just your school. Let's just think about overall. Just think about overall, all schools. Give some teachers expectations. Just what you expect out of the school year, what you expect out of the parents. Just give, so just anybody that's watching that has kids that are going to school this year, so they can be mindful of for this school year to make the school year better.
Being involved, so I'll say the first thing is being involved does not mean you drop your child off and you pick your child up.
That's right.
If you don't know your teachers, all your children's teachers, if you don't know the person that's feeding your child, if you don't know the person that is at recess with your child, that's a problem. That's a problem. Because I had a mother who, if a parent gave me a ride home because I lost my bus fare or whatever, my mother expected that parent to come into her door, or at least for me to come get my mother and bring her out to that car. But we don't have parents in this because everybody got their own issues. So knowing, introducing yourself as a teacher, and this is advice to teachers, the beginning of the school year, send a letter out, whether it be email or the dojo or however, introducing yourself to these parents. I do that every year. Every time I get a new group of students, their parents get a letter. I don't care what time of year I'm sent to that class, they go get a letter from me introducing who I am, what my standards are. I don't have expectations because that's me putting my ideals on you. And hey, my mother didn't raise you, so I don't know how fucked up you are. So I have standards of how I'm gonna be treated. So if your child comes home and I said or did anything, I require you give me a call and ask me what happened, or you make a date to see up here. But what you're not gonna do is come up here and tell me what I'm not gonna do with your child, when your child is clearly a liar and you know your child lies. So so one thing is this standard, putting that thing out. In terms of introducing myself to parents. And I think parents should do that to the students. Now, the way schools are built now, parents don't always have full access to the building, meaning they can drop their child off, they make it come to the office, or they have to schedule a time to meet because parents are not allowed to.
Y'all don't still have back to school night?
Yeah, but I don't come to that because I'm not wasting my time. I'm just saying, I've come to school night and I've been there since 7:30 in the morning.
Really going to back to school night. Ain't nobody
I go to back to school night. What the hell? I go to back to school.
Yeah, but how many other parents are there with you?
I go to
Wait a minute. He got 30 kids in the classroom. Out of them 30 kids, probably a good 10 mothers or fathers going to show up.
And
I like back to school night.
BlackRoses. And she lying to herself.
I like back to school night.
Parents are gonna come. She know 3 of those parents are gonna come, right. And 2 out of those three, 2 got something to do. So come on, let's get this done quick.
Yeah,
I think we is different school zones. I think we is different school zones.
No, we're not, Kay. We not. But understand how many children when you go to back to school night. When you go to, but how many children go to that school compared to how many parents show up?
That's the problem. 4 kids, all of them got back to school night on the same day, and they all go to different schools.
Right, and it don't count if you send your aunt. It don't count if you send your aunt to back to school night and your aunt is not your primary caretaker.
That's where the communication, like Nate said, that's where the communication comes.
Yeah, it's not. Don't just send somebody. It's because a lot of them people sent somebody in their place. No, because that aunt is not the person that I might have to file this police report with.
If you email a teacher, like sometimes I understand what y'all saying. Sometimes when I have that issue, I just email the teacher and tell them, okay, I have this, that, and the other, and they make other arrangements. Most of the times they just been doing virtual if I'm not able to, physically come in the school.
You're in a good school system because if you can't meet with me on my planning period, there's nothing we can do. We can talk, we can FaceTime, we can meet face to face. But don't call me after 2:25 when I get out, and don't call me before 7:30 before I get there.
Don't.
No, they work with you. They really
do work with you. And I'm not interrupting my classroom because you have an attitude right now. So no protocol. Your child is not priority because you have a problem, and this is the only time that you can come because your stories have gone off, and right before they come back on, you got this time to talk. No. If you want me to sacrifice, let me see your sacrifice.
True. I understand that. I agree 100%.
I used to be that person that made every availability. I used to call parents on my personal phone. Nope. Don't call me on my personal phone. We don't have that relationship. Call me from the office phone. Because then parents use that. I had a parent who called the police and gave the police my number because she had my number. You don't get that type of access to me no more. No.
Ooh, now that's
And that's just,
nasty.
and you have to earn that. If you earn it, then I'll oblige.
That's
Other
right.
than that, no, you have to earn that. Because I'm a teacher, don't give you full access to me.
To
Don't make
me,
me
that's
have
true.
open availability to you. And I tell that
Right.
to my principal. My principal will call me
That's
all day
true.
on the intercom. And when I'm ready to go downstairs is when I'll go downstairs. And probably a couple minutes before I'm about to leave out this building. So you got a couple minutes. What's going on? Oh, you're not gonna come up to my room? Oh, we won't have nothing to talk about that.
We don't have nothing to talk about.
So and there's a lot of teachers that are feeling this way. They have teachers that have podcasts. I'm gonna send you the teachers podcast. It is hilarious because these are all ex-teachers who are just spilling all the biggies. And it's gonna be eye-opening because a lot of people don't understand what children go through in a school system with parents, with teachers, and we all don't understand what the other one is going through. And that lack of communication, so your child comes home and say, Mr. Couser called me out my name. Or I'll give you a real example. Mr. Couser said my clothes was inappropriate. So the parent comes to me, who the fuck are you to tell me my child is being inappropriate? Her clothes are inappropriate. Well,
Right.
hold on. How you doing? My name is, because we've never introduced ourselves. Just the end of the school year, we just meeting each other. I didn't say your child was inappropriate. I said the way she had her shirt tied up and her belly exposed was inappropriate. That's what I said to her.
Well,
So
how dare
ask
you?
her what
Right.
I
She
said
can
to
wear
her.
what she want to say. She can wear what she want to wear.
Well,
What
you
you
should ask.
Because that's how they gonna talk to you. What you a
Yeah.
pedophile or something? Why you
Or-
looking at how she dressed?
and see what I'm saying? See, Crystal knows. She knows. And it's crazy to me. I no longer want to be a teacher.
I've
I feel
dealt with
I no
compelled to be
longer want to
one.
send my kids to school. Listen to your
And I'm
conversation.
telling
I
you,
want to keep them home.
I'm telling you, that's your best route.
Oh, Lord, I
In
want
this
to keep them
world we're
you
home.
living
gotta,
in right now,
it starts when they are young. Working at a daycare, it's the same shit. Well, my son came home cussing. I don't even fucking cuss around him. I must be cussing or something around here because he came home saying cuss words, and I don't even fucking cuss in my house.
it is. If just the stories alone, I'm telling you, it is.
I am so privileged
I'm telling
that
you,
I had to go through none of this. I'm just going to keep praying
yeah,
on the Lord
but a
that
lot
I
of
just can
it.
But
say
it
that.
can.
But
These are
understand,
things
it's your
that
child.
happen.
It's your
These are things
child
that
dealing
happen.
with
You
some
a
of it,
different
though.
type of parent. You a
Oh,
different type
But
God.
of
it's your
parent.
child dealing with some of that, though, and
But it's
just
your
not
child
telling
dealing.
you.
That's right.
Hell
And that's
no.
another
Because
thing about
I'm
you
in
have to,
they
what you have to
I'm on the
understand
teacher's
about children.
emails.
No matter
I got
how
their
good of a
telephone
parent,
number. Look.
no matter how good of a parent you are, you can only be a parent to them when they're home. They still got to go to school for 8 hours of the day, baby. They got peer pressure. They got bullies. They got all kinds of shit that they're ducking and dodging at school.
Y'all see that? I have school teachers' numbers, their telephone number, their cell phone. I don't play around. Oh, I'm getting all types of contact. I am that involved parent. You gotta push me out the door. I can't. I need to know
And
what's
that's
going on.
and I commend
I
you for
have
that.
to know what's going
But
on.
just understand when people
For
are
every one
attacking
of
the
you,
school system.
I
one
want
of you, there's
to.
5 bad ones.
I
Exactly.
want
For
to.
every one good one, there's 5 bad ones. And sometimes the
Exactly.
My
bad
goal.
outweigh the good.
I always want to be ahead of the game. I always want to be on top of stuff. I have had that happen though. I have had little David, when he was in school, and he had one bad little seed, a little girl. The teacher will walk the roll attendance roll or whatever up to the front after she was done, and would leave the kids in there and leave one child to watch the thing. Well, some big girl that was way bigger than him decided that every time the teacher left out, she wanted to take and bend his arm behind his back. And so he told me one day, I said, what is wrong with you? Why you don't like? He was like, can you just stay in there? So I figured out, I'm like, what is going on? Why you don't want to stay in this class? So he told me what happened. I went up in that school. I set it off up in that daggone school. I said, let me tell you something. David don't bother nobody. David don't say, and she said,
You
yeah,
know
I know
that.
he don't bother nobody. David don't do nothing to he don't, because she's the one that tells me. She's like, he's the most quiet. He's the one, he's so quiet. He's too quiet sometimes. I have to get him to come out of his shell because he's too quiet. He's that person. So I'm like, no, listen, let me explain something to you. And I felt bad after I said it now. I don't know if I should tell y'all because y'all probably look at me different. But I told the daggone teacher, I said, he don't bother nobody. He mind his business. So it ain't no goodness God daggone well I should be coming up to this school for something like this because he don't want to go to class when he loves school. And you tell me yourself he loves school. I don't condone him fighting nobody. But let me tell you something. If she put her hands on him again, and I said it loud enough because the class was in session so the little girl could hear because I knew who her little fat self was. So I said, I told him if she put her hands on him again, knock the shit out of her ass. And I'm going to tell you once. That's all. I told him that. So if you come asking me questions about why David hit this little girl, know that I told him that. Well,
So
yeah,
just
we
know that
just have
little
a
girl went home.
problem.
That little
Yeah,
girl
she
went
did.
home and
She
said,
did.
Miss K said she
She
would
did.
knock the fuck out of me.
And I was waiting because you know what? And I was waiting because you know what the teacher gonna turn around and tell me, oh yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. She's one of the one of the kids that we have issues with, and it's really hard to get her parent up here. I turned around to David, I said, you know what car her mama drive in the morning when I drop you off? He said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. Don't worry about it. We'll get her in the classroom. What we need to do. So I went to the school the next day. I pulled up. I said, you tell me when you see the little girl getting out of the car. So the little girl pulled up. Her little mother pulled up in a black little Nissan with the tinted windows. I went nicely up.
She typecasting that lady. She did that for a reason.
The teacher need to talk to you. So we need to walk in here together. Come on, let's go. All it needed to be said. Because if I gotta come up here and get physical, it's gonna be an issue. And that was all that was said. He ain't had no problems after that though. But yeah,
But
y'all felt like y'all
typically,
couldn't get the teacher. Y'all could have did the same thing I did. Y'all could have came outside the school and knocked on her window. We would try to get in contact with you. Let's go.
yeah, but do you know what someone would have to not have to do in order to get that done? That means somebody's not on their post, or somebody has to come in earlier. And I know, parents like, well, that's nothing. Well, handle it, parent. I always tell
No,
parents
I
to
got
go
her up
for
out
it.
of there.
Call
I got
her.
her in that classroom. Oh, y'all can't get it in? Oh, we can talk here in the parking lot, or we can go
But
talk to the
sometimes
teacher. The teacher
that's
looking
what.
for you.
And sometimes, especially as faculty and staff, we need parents to be able to take that initiative, because most times the principal wants to just keep the peace. They want to keep the
They
peace
did.
because
She
what
did.
happens is, if it gets out of hand, it's on school property. So then we have to call police. Then we got to fill out forms. Then we got it's a whole, and then you're taking yourself away from what you have to do that day. And parents don't get that. Like, you can't let children sit and wait for nothing.
Oh no, because children get
You
idle and
cannot
get
let them sit and wait for nothing. And me sitting out in the hallways having a parent conference while my class is supposed to be in session, one, that's taken away from my lesson plan, that's taken away from what your child is supposed to be doing. And the behavioral issues, that's where when you let children be
they gonna
idle,
get
that's when the
crazy.
behavioral problem.
Wow. Well, I know
So
one thing for
sometimes
sure, two things for certain. You wasn't gonna
it's,
have my child sitting there not wanting to go to daggone school because you can't get your child right. Oh, that's the problem.
and sometimes that's all it takes. But if it was that easy for the school, it would have already been happening. But the school tries to follow the policy. So me sometimes going outside of the realm, it has got me into trouble. Me calling a parent, I shouldn't have just called. I should have followed the process. I should have filled out the paperwork. But your child got to get a certain amount of write-ups within a certain period
Bless you.
before they call you, because they don't
Bless
want, because parents are complaining. I don't want you calling me for every little thing. It's getting on my nerves. So now we're forced to follow policy. Me, I'm
you. Or
not, I'm
they
going to
ignoring
call
you.
you. I'm going to call you and I'm going to put you on speakerphone when it's happening. So you can
Right.
say whatever you want to say to your child. I don't care about your child being embarrassed. That's not my concern. That's your
Not my concern.
parental situation. So I'm gonna
Not
call
my
you in the
concern.
middle of the class, boo, 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 and then you say whatever you gotta say. Keep my phone on speakerphone so we can all hear.
Right.
Because if you say something about me, then Give me my phone back, and now we go follow another procedure. Get out my classroom, and that's it. And you wonder why some teachers are that blunt and seemingly disrespectful to your child is because you're not showing that teacher any respect by supporting them.
Right.
You're
True.
not.
That's
When your
true.
child come home and say a problem, don't have that teacher calling my fucking phone no more. That means me calling you is a problem.
Hmm. And that's
Well, the
true.
child is a
That's
problem.
true. That is true. That is so sad, but that's so true. Some parents are like that. That's sad.
And it
It's
like Crystal said, for every one of you, it's like 4 or 5 that's not.
4 or 5. That's not.
That don't have a correct and I don't know how you can send your child to school for a day without some type your neighbor's number, your job's number, your coworker who phone is still on their number, your brother, somebody's number that can.
Number, yeah.
I had a child that ran out of the school last year. We didn't know where this
Mm,
child was. Their parents did not speak English. There was not a
mm.
working number for them. So the student had to tell us where the child lived for us to go to the house and find out the little boy ran home.
Oh,
And that's just
oh.
like how do you and I understand for them they're not Spanish speak. I mean they're Spanish speaking and they're new to the country. But we had the same problem with people who've been living in that neighborhood their whole life. But I, more power to y'all. 'Cause I, girl, mm, y'all
So
people with children are on my prayer list.
Crystal ain't got no daggone children. Her child is grown. Who she got? Who she got? Her
I
child is
don't want any
grown.
children in
Yeah,
school.
but
Thank
I
God.
mean, to some degree, she had to go through this. It wasn't as
That's what
bad
I
as
was
it
getting
is
ready to
today.
say. What was her experience? That's what I want to know. What was your experience now that you have a child that is out of school, that has graduated, that you don't have to worry about as far as the school goes?
That's why she in Jamaica every other month, planning carnival trips and shit. She don't care.
Oh God.
For me, it was like, for me, experiencing school with Jalen, it was like I was an active parent. Now, I ain't gonna sit there and say I was at every school event or this, that, and the third, but I tried to be. For me, I prided myself on going to the first day of school. I wanted to know who his teacher was. I wanted to see where his classroom was because I never wanted to be a problem if I had to come up to school and, I don't know his teacher. He in who class? Well, what class is this? I don't know what I said. I never did that. Now, I ain't gonna say, I was at every event. And I ain't gonna say my son was perfect. Jalen was definitely a class clown. And there was always gonna be a phone
Like his
call or
mother.
detention. Oh, you tried it. He definitely went to detention. But he wasn't one of them kids that were disrespectful. It's always, he was a little playful today, or Jalen was a little this today, but it was never Jalen was disrespectful. Jalen was a problem. Jalen was just a little playful, and I had to redirect him. And his teachers always had my phone number. Best believe they always had my number, and they used it. Oh yeah, they used it a lot, especially when he got more so in middle school. Now in high school, I can honestly say he started filling out his own little papers, so he would put his phone number down. So on days that he missed school, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. On days where the teacher would,
I kick his ass.
yeah, I'm telling you, like I just know. I told y'all. I think I told y'all this story about he was in high school. That was his last year of high school, and I went to a back to school night. The teacher said, "Yeah, I didn't give Jalen homework for a week
Cause the
because
dog
the
died.
dog died."
Remember when you told me that?
Ma'am, he played you. He played you. He played you. But I had shit like that. It wasn't like, oh,
Oh,
Jalen was fighting. I think he might have got in. I'm trying to think, did he ever get into a fight? He got into a fight when he was like in elementary school. But he was never one of them kids that was fighting on people and bullying people and doing shit.
You
He
don't
was
know
just
that, Miss. You just said they didn't have your correct information. You don't know that. You just didn't report.
I was active. I was up there. Like in high school, I can definitely say I slacked off a little bit more in high school, but I was definitely, if something was going on like a back to school night or something, I definitely went. I definitely did go. And then another thing, he played football, so his teachers would see me at the football games. You know, like, oh, Jalen's mom, can I talk to you for a second? What? You know. So it wouldn't be nothing that Jalen could get away. And then I also had friends that worked at the school too. Like a couple of my homeboys worked at his school all throughout his high school year. So I knew.
Was they homeboys or was they Uncle Charlie's?
No, they was homeboys.
All right, I'm gonna quit. Just because I moved to North Carolina don't mean I ain't still got it.
That was an interesting pause.
Just because you moved to North Carolina don't mean I won't walk down there and hit you in your mouth. Because, excuse me.
Well, bring her school supplies while you're on your way, so she gets
right. Thank you.
That's retarded. Going all the way down there with no fucking school supplies and information.
Bring my school supplies. Bring my school supplies.
Information.
I don't know. I was just trying to go because David waited so late to take everything and pack it up. I just wanted to go and get on the road, and I drove the whole way down here. I was just like, I just need to go.
What did you do? Sit in the seat and look at you drive.
They all went to sleep. I just wanted to drive because if I wake people up, here's my thing.
We go to Mississippi next month, and I'm telling, listen, my family know all that Crystal driving by herself shit is done. My son know how to drive.
That's only 6 hours.
My sister know how to drive. Oh yeah, somebody's getting behind this wheel.
That was only 6 hours. 6 hours is nothing.
Oh baby, I only want, if I'm in a car with other licensed drivers now, I only want to do 2 hours by myself.
I know you don't.
I
know.
I know. I don't want to do
no. That is not a thing. That is not a thing.
What you mean?
You keep on trying to say I'm at an age now where no, that's not a thing. She don't like to drive. She prevented every ounce. I think she drove one time. We went to Myrtle Beach. She drove to the store, and I think that was it. I don't think she drove nowhere the whole trip. She ain't drive at all.
In the car. I'm not getting behind that wheel. I don't care how bad you drive. I'm gonna sit in the back seat like I don't know what's going on. Oh, we about to hit that truck. Oh, okay.
That is terrible. That is terrible.
But no, like,
but yeah.
I can honestly say, like, I really wish the best for the kids going back to school. I want parents to know that peer pressure is a thing, no matter what age, no matter what grade, no matter how old they are. It is a thing, and please, please, please be mindful that your child has a voice and an opinion. And just know, if you don't gotta grill them every day they come home, but hey, how's school?
Yeah.
You know, like, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, how's this? I'm not saying you got to be an active teacher and go to every single thing. I mean, an active parent and go to every single thing, but try to get to know your child teacher. At least that. At least be active in their school life. Know what's going on. Okay, the teacher got my number. If anything happens, she could email me. She could call me. She could do whatever. That is the most.
I'm a nerd because I get excited about all the little things they have at school. I be wanting to go. I be wanting the kids be like, no, I don't want to go to that. Why? Why can't we go to math night? Math night.
My mom ain't coming to this shit. She sure ain't. No.
I am the nerd parent. I swear. David like that.
I can really say that I would go to. Like if they had, like when he was in Gartenville, they did like donuts for moms or muffins with moms. I would go to muffins with moms.
No, I like all the PTA stuff. I like the PTA stuff. I did PTA. I got my card. Matter of fact, where my card? I got my card. Well, I can't use it now because I'm at a new school. But I did PTA. I paid my little dues and I did PTA. Yes, I was officially a part of PTA. Am I just that nerdy of a parent? Am I the nerd mom? Because I really was like, I was happy. I was like, oh, I'm a PTA. Oh, I was happy. I was excited. My little PTA. All I wasn't going to school yet, remember?
Oh, that's right. Now, how you gonna manage that with all I'm about to be in school? You can't go to 18 back to school nights.
What you say?
I don't want to bash parents that work or have double jobs, or if they're separated, one parent lives in I don't want to bash those types of parents. But what I will say is, be as involved as you need to be. If you can't be there, send somebody in your place. Make arrangements for somebody to be there.
When I can't, if I miss something. So my whole thought process is, if I miss something, I feel like they're gonna look at me some type of way.
We
That's
are.
how I feel. Exactly. That's how I feel. So that's why I make sure I'm at everything.
No, Nate
Now,
will.
David,
Sometimes
David
don't.
don't go. David don't go to everything. David be like, I'm not going to that. But I like math night and stuff like that. Like them kid, like I said, them kids, they be like, I don't particularly want to go
But
to
how
a
do you
dance or
expect
something
your
like that.
child to be into it if you're not into it? Like
Mm-hmm.
that sacrifice of time is an investment in your a resource for your child. Like, and some of y'all need it because some of y'all children not naturally smart, so they need it.
Right.
They don't.
True. That's what I'm
No,
Some of
you
your
saying.
better
children.
turn.
I'm just saying.
You better
Some of your
turn it
children
around.
No.
don't have the
Changing
best
numbers. Your kid ain't
personality.
smart. Your kid is dumb as dick
Right.
for it.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just
So I
being
like to
honest
go
though. But
back to that
some of your
because
children don't have the best
because
personality.
But
Mm-hmm.
because another thing is, that's another form of you getting to meet the teachers. You going to those little activities, those little PTA activities and stuff, you really get to see who your kids' friends are. You get to see who they hang around. You are able to look at that, to keep an eye on their personality, the type of people they keep around them, the type of company they keep around them, how they interact in school. It's a lot of things that people don't pay attention to. But if you actually go to these events and stuff like that, you get to see a lot more. Because now, like I said, when I got to Maryland, when I came back from North Carolina and got to Maryland, I was thrown off when they was like, "Oh no, no, baby, you can't walk your kid down the hallway." I said, "Wait, but what? I can't do what? I
Mhm.
can't come into school." I was thrown off. I was like, "Oh, come again." I had to start going and looking at the book. I was like, because they got to be away. He is in elementary school. You telling me I can't go walk him down there and see who his teacher is? How I
If
know
you
if this lady ain't a mass
volunteer, if you
murderer?
volunteer, then
How I
maybe you
know if
can do it. But that's
this lady might be
those.
a mass murderer? How do I
But
know?
see,
I didn't
but
know
see,
her face.
but you could be one. Those rules are
No,
meant because there were
She gonna be
parents
a
who
whole pedophile trying to walk her kid to school, looking at
those.
no.
you. You gonna
But
be a
see,
whole
those
I want
policies.
to
pedophile.
know.
So if you know schools, they have color codes. Like we have weather color codes, they have color
Yeah,
codes. Code orange, somebody has a gun
I'm
in the
glad I'm
building.
here.
Code red, somebody,
Yeah.
like because parents have come up there. You may have
Oh,
two mothers that have a child by the same father and they meet each other. So
ooh.
now they fighting in the middle of the hallway.
Boy, let me see that. That's the
Or
juice,
they,
baby.
a teacher, a child went home and misspoke about what a teacher said or did. Now the parent is gonna
Mhm.
come to the classroom to fight the teacher. So those
Right.
rules
That's
are,
true.
and not just for COVID, but those rules and policies are put into place because parents were misbehaving. They didn't know how to handle themselves. Parents not knowing what to wear to school. Like
I believe
I shouldn't have a policy of what you should wear coming into this building.
with some
But
rollers and your robe on,
but
Crystal.
not even a rollers. But you have people coming there with cat suits on, titties hanging out.
That's true.
Like, no, because you about to roll back into bed. That don't mean you come to the school looking like that. Put your
They want to
clothes
be the
on
good
while your
looking
child putting
mama.
clothes on.
They want to be the MILF mama. What you talk about, Nate? They want
Yeah,
to be MILF mom.
yeah, and that's why your child is embarrassed of you. That's why your child won't tell you nothing. But at the same time, a lot of those. So in terms of the programming, your child won't try stuff because they know you're not gonna be there. Speaking as a person who had only one parent who couldn't make it to everything I did because she had two children, like that. Sometimes you feel a certain kind of way when your parent don't show up, and that makes you not want to try. So now the teacher has to force you or try to force you to get involved or be involved or learn. And I'm
Yeah,
just telling some of y'all, and some people y'all laughing, but some of y'all children dumb as doorknobs, and they need all of
that's
this
true.
program. Some of
Program,
them
they
don't
do.
have the best personality, so some of
They
them are not
sure do.
going to be, the light of the ball. Some of them need these things to help them, with school. So please
That's
show up for
true.
your children because some of them are dumb and they need you.
Don't say it in that way.
But that's the truth. And they're dumb
They
because
did.
they don't want to try because they know you're not going to show up.
They have
Most of
delayed
y'all
learning.
children, most of y'all children who are into sports because that's the only way their fathers will come and participate. Most of
Mm.
your children don't even like sports. They don't. They want to be real stuff in
And
life
they
other than the
don't. They
athlete.
do. They do. You know why? It's crazy because I just asked. Surprisingly, I never knew that Kylie, the middle one, He wants to play sports. He said, I
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to play sports. I said, why you ain't say not? Well, of course, they wasn't in school, and I wasn't letting them do, just the sports to be catch COVID. But he said, yeah, ma, he said, I want to play this year. I always wanted to do basketball and football. But David hates it. We've been trying to ask David for years. David, what do you want to do? He don't want to do nothing. He hates sports. He hates after school clubs. He just want to get to school, do his stuff, and get out. But he is like an Excel child. But
But
that's
see,
crazy. He don't want to do nothing else.
he's one of the students who need to participate in at least one of those things because
Yes,
that shows him how to be a team player. That shows him how to, you know,
exactly.
to communicate with people outside of his siblings. So
But I don't want to force him. That's the whole thing. I feel like it's
but
forcing
sometimes you
him.
have to though. As a parent, I'm saying this as on this side of it. Sometimes you have to because it will stunt your child's growth if they don't try something. Have him just complete a season. Even if you don't want to be a tennis player or something, you have to do one sport per year. You have to do
That's what
one
we
art
told him.
enrichment every
I,
year.
I
That's
think
what
you
we
should do that
told
anyway in
him.
high school because that teaches him social skills. It teaches him
That's
how
what
to
we told
be.
him. That's what his
It teaches
father,
him,
his
like Nick said, it teaches him how to be a team player, how to resolve conflict. It teaches a
so
multitude of things that we don't think
yeah.
about.
So we did that for several years. But especially when he got to middle school. When he got to middle school, he was like, David, you have to play at least one sport or do one after school activity. He just kept saying he don't want to do it. He don't like it. So
And
I felt like,
that's
okay,
his
I don't want to
problem.
force him. I don't want to be the bad parent and force him. But now,
It's not being a
like y'all
bad.
said,
And I'm telling you, I'm as a person who was a child, as a person who's been a teacher,
We appreciate that more.
in the long run, because sports will help you keep up with your physical health. It will help you to be a team player, and not just with sports, other activities. So if they have an after school program, you got to do one sport, you got to do one enrichment.
yeah, that's what we
And
were saying. Yeah, that's
and
what we were
sometimes
saying
you
this
and I
year.
think too many parents today are giving their children options, and your children are
Absolutely.
always going to choose the latter.
Yep.
Mom want to come home
That's
and go to
true.
sleep. Well, I'm
That's
not
what
going
my
to
mother
push
Mom said
them.
I
said.
ain't gotta do it, so why do I gotta do it?
Right.
That's what my mother said. My mother said that. My mother was like, you can't. My mother was like, if you think about it, that's the same thing that your sister. Your sister didn't want to do anything. Now your sister can play 15 different instruments, but I had to force her to do it. And so I understand that, but I don't know. I just was kind of on the. But now this year, me and David are both like, David, going to high school. You gotta play one sport. You gotta do one after school activity.
Mhm.
That's gonna excel, especially now. It's going to look good on your transcript. It's going to make it, I mean,
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
already got the academics. He has the academics, but that's going to look way better, and it's going to save us money when it comes to paying for they go college. You got to do something. So
And
yeah, this year we're
those
going
are
to.
the benefits that you all get. But for him, like you said, it shows that he's diverse. You know, even
Right.
because you may have 15 students that got straight A's, valedictorians that this school is choosing from. But which one of them are diverse? Which one of them are involved in the everyday of the school system, and not just I
Right.
come to school, I go home. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they
Right.
want people who are going to make their whole school system look good in terms of college. And that's why parents
Right.
need to cut that. You will do this one sport every year. So hell, you probably go do two of them. One in the fall, one in the spring.
One in the
Right.
fall,
That's
one
what
in
we
the spring.
plan. Yeah.
Cry
So
on
that's
your
what
own
we
time.
plan. Right, that's what we plan to do with him this year. We're gonna try him in baseball, and he said he wanted to do checkers, the chess club. He wanted to do
Hmm.
chess club, so we're gonna try that this year. And this time, I'm
And
not
that's
letting up. I was
scholarship.
the one
That's
that let up.
scholarship.
I was the one that let
My
up.
grandmother taught all of her grandchildren how to play chess and checkers and a little spades on the side. But none of us really, none of us really pushed it. But one of my little cousins who also learned, he got scholarships based off of being in
Hmm.
chess. He did tournaments, and that's still a level of camaraderie. So I'm not saying, you know, one sports is better than this or this is better than sports, but make
True.
them well versed in things because they're going to
Yeah,
be adults one day and they're going to want
yeah,
friends.
I don't
So they
know.
need to be
Yeah, and
diverse.
That's crazy though, because I don't know where he kind of, I don't know. I think David is just a little bit more lazy. Like he's more involved in like video games and reading comics and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But he, like I said, he excels in academics. But I've always had them in something. Like they did soccer, they did swimming. Like they've always
Mm-hmm.
been involved in
But you've
something.
given
But
them an
now that
option.
he's older, oh, that's true.
You,
I'm not letting up this year. It's
when
my
when
fault.
your
David
parent,
was
when your
like,
Okay,
push
mother,
I
him.
go ahead and
when your
a
mother
couple
first
months
gave
from now,
you an
I ain't
option,
gonna let him
what did you
do it.
choose? When your
I
parent
have.
first
I am.
started giving you options, you always chose what you wanted to do, and what you
Right.
wanted to do
That's true.
wasn't always what you needed to be doing.
I'm gonna let David take it from here because I give up. I let up in a heartbeat. I'm gonna let David take it from here. I'm gonna let Big David take it because he told him already. He said that's what you have to do, and I always been the one like David. No, well, if he don't want to, but I'm just gonna stay out of it. His high school year, I'm gonna let his father take over from there, and I'm gonna do whatever he is.
But even see what the being in high school, see what things that they offer, because debate will help him to be a better speaker. Theater will help him to like open up and not be so shy and reserved. Or art, if he's gonna do sports, he's gonna have to take a dance class or music. They're gonna force him to do those things anyway. But
Yeah.
those things will help make his personality grow. Not just
Especially in
education
high
wise,
school. I can
but
see
there are
in middle school, but in
benefits
high school, it's a whole
educationally. But
different ball game. High school
yeah,
is so different. Like high
And
school
it's
is very
crazy. And what's crazy is that Kylie, the middle one, the one that's in middle school, used to be the one that had trouble making friends and stuff like that. And he used to get so
hmm
disappointed if somebody told him they didn't want to be his friend, stuff like that. He didn't excel over David, Lord David, because he wanted to stay in the house and everything like that. Kylie come outside, Kylie goes out, and he's younger. It's the younger brother, but he's the bigger brother. But he comes outside, he go see his friends, go there. He know everybody in the neighborhood. Everybody know him. Like he just has made a name for himself.
he gets
Whereas
that from
though
me.
now David looks like
He gets
the
that
little
from
but
brother,
me, his
although
real
David
mom.
is the older brother.
but
He
children
gets
go through
Kylie
those
gets that from
phases.
me. I'm his real mom.
With
Oh
children
my,
go
go
through
sleep.
those phases, but those are things that you have to step in and sometimes push them to do things, because I
That's true.
definitely went through a phase where I didn't want to leave out the house. If it wasn't for
That's
school, I remember that year of my life. I missed funerals, I missed parties, I missed so many things. I didn't want to leave out the house. And it was frankly because I was going to school year round, so I was tired. But you still have to push them. And my mother would like
Yeah.
order pizza and invite some of my friends over for pizza. And I'll be like, oh,
mm-hmm.
okay, we can eat pizza, but I didn't want it. But you have to show them what they're missing, but also just
True.
encourage them and give them incentives. But sometimes you going out for this football team, you going out for this debate club,
He
you
goes to
going
my
out for this play, you doing it. So just get
Yeah,
ready,
I think I just got
get
to
down.
change my thought process, though, Nate. I think my thought process was, I feel like my
You don't
thought
want to do
process was
that.
more
You don't
so,
want to be a bad
huh?
cop.
No, it's not that I want to be the bad guy. It was just that if he's doing good and in his grades, he's not failing. Why am I pushing him to do something he don't want to do? See,
That's not
that
enough.
was my thought process.
It's not enough. And he has to
That
understand that you just doing
you can
the
touch them,
minimum is not enough.
right? That's true.
He's a
I'm gonna
black
listen to you this
boy.
year.
I'm just
Yes,
saying
that's
he's
true.
a black boy. It's
No,
not
she
enough.
ain't.
Yeah,
It's
No,
not
she
enough.
ain't.
She
She gonna be right
I
in here
am.
next month talking about
No, I'm
I'm
a
not
listen
letting
and
that shit.
shit. Listen, no. I actually started. I actually called around to see about the team. Even though I ain't got them in school, but I know what school they going to. So I have called around to figure out when the different sports, when the season start, so I can prepare
I
myself.
mean, you have to listen. But if he wants to go to college and you get that bill for college and you out there
I
shaking
ain't
a
getting a bill
leg,
for
you
college.
got to shake
I
a
ain't
leg
getting
because that tuition is a
When she
little
out there
too much.
popping that coochie on the handstand,
I
wondering why she
ain't
gotta
getting
pay
a
for
bill for
college.
college.
Yeah.
No, I ain't getting a bill for college. That's going to their grandparents. Like that's rude. Let me stop.
But
You
you
out there
still, I
popping that
mean,
coochie for
and
college. You
they
gonna get
growing.
paid
Your
off.
children look like they growing. So
They are.
people have to start. At some point you will want them to get a little job, but you don't
Yeah.
want him to become a worker bee. You want him to be able to excel based off his academics and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right. I'm gonna do it this year. I'm gonna do it,
I
y'all.
don't believe it.
I promise. I am so excited about this school year starting. I told y'all I'm the nerd mother. I am excited that Gemma is going to school for the first year. She a big 5-year-old. She about 7 or 8, but she only 5. So I'm excited about that. That's a big 5-year-old. I am excited about Cameron going to 4th grade. I'm excited about David going to high school and Kylie going to middle school, and they all going to new schools. We back in North Carolina where the education ends. I can go in schools down here. So I'm really excited.
You never know when they're going to change that policy again.
I could go in schools.
Right,
Well,
crying.
I know. I'm like,
your son going to high school, he is not going to want you walking him to no fucking classroom.
No, I ain't talking about him. I'm going to just drop him off at school.
Now Cameron,
I ain't worried about him. Now, I won't do that.
But Kylie and
I won't do that.
Walking him to no goddamn
I will not. I will. Middle school, I am.
Right to homeroom, watch.
Middle school,
I need to sit your ass down. I don't need to be my goddamn teacher.
Middle school, I am. High school, I'm not. Middle school, I am. I don't care what you say.
Girl, middle school is too much. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm going to Kylie school. I need to know what's
up. Going to the 8th grade? No, girl, don't you walk that boy in his fucking classroom and he going to the 8th grade.
Oh, he going.
Embarrassing
I'm
him
going
like
to
that.
school.
You ain't got no home training.
No.
No home training.
Okay.
I can't help it.
Not Jalen would have said, "Get the fuck." He'd have been like, "Mom, you
on.
doing too much." Jalen would have told me that. Mom, you doing too much.
Hold on. Do they have PTA in middle school? They got PTA in middle school, right? All right. If I can at least,
they have PTA in high school. There's PTA in high school.
If I can at least get in PTA, if I can at least be PTA involved, I won't walk in there 2 schools. I promise y'all that. I will walk into the high school.
You can volunteer up into high school. Like, they always looking for volunteers. They're always looking for...
I ain't doing all that. I don't like other people's children. I like my own children. I don't like other people's children.
Yeah, but those other people's children are with your children.
Exactly.
I would be like Nate. Because we outside of school grounds, and I know where your mama live at. Tell your mama come outside, and then you next. I'm Nate on outside.
But see, you start developing. But see, I think you'll see the culture, and it's not like you're a full-time employee, but like field trips and stuff like that. They still
are field trips. I'm here for the field trips.
But you'll start seeing the inside of the school. In terms of how things are working and, what children are problems.
One good thing down here, which I don't know if it's changed since the CDC, but down here at the schools, everybody can go. Like, the whole family can go. As long as you drive your own car. Like, the kid has to get on a bus, but the whole family can go on the field trips.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it was me, when little David and Kylie was in school, me and David went on all their field trips. Plus, we had Cameron.
Well, they try to. I know in terms of the parents, they try to really encourage the parents to be involved, and a lot of schools are really trying to get the fathers present, because especially the ones that are dealing with a lot of boys, they're really trying to get the fathers present. That's why you'll see more males in the school, even though some of them are bouncers. You'll see that, but they're trying to incorporate more men in school, especially Black men, so children see a representation and to curb a lot of the issues that these children are having, because that's the biggest problem. You every now and again you'll find a dad that's involved, but typically when you see a dad that's involved, he's very hostile, he's very short, he's not really communicative, like he don't communicate very well. He normally comes up there when there's a problem. And because
most of the times the dads are the disciplinarian in area.
Right.
They're not the ones that are more involved in anything.
So there's a big push.
Like an outstanding football player. That's the only time you'll see a father up there trying to advocate for their child.
Right. Or practices. So that's that's one of the things that they're doing. So they're opening the doors for families and more importantly, dads. So I can see that happening, but I don't want a whole family on a field trip with me. I need the problem because I typically only ask the parents that are problem children, because I don't want to be out in public with your child by myself.
You can't go. I'm like, no, you're not getting no permission.
Oh,
Coming with you, you can't go.
Well, that's my whole thing. I only give the chaperone sheets to the parents, and it's on it. It's mandatory. You have to come with your child, or somebody has to come with your child.
Your child in particular.
Because we can't leave children behind. I always find a way to do it. So I always use, if they got into a fight, you can't go on the trip. I always use those. They try not to.
He can't go. He was
talking
back.
Right, everything is so inclusive now.
You already know he gonna mess up. He was talking back. He can't go.
Right. So you just I mean, go with your instinct, but push your child. It's not gonna hurt them. It's not like you beating them and you gotta be on this team. But and just push them. And it matters to them, and they'll push back. But many of them, they want that involvement. That shows them that somebody cares. That shows them that somebody is involved. Somebody is. But just give them that push, because they're not going to choose it for themselves.
If you want to do something, you're going to receive a lot of pushback in the beginning, but they'll start to like it. They will eventually start to like it. It's going to be a lot of pushback for something new. A lot of it.
That's
but
true.
They may not even want to be. They may not even want to be into sports, but what it will give them is that sense of camaraderie that he's not getting just from academics, and vice versa. Your children that lean more towards sports, putting them in more academic enrichment things will give them a sense of culture that they wouldn't typically get on, ramming into each other or doing suicides or squats. They'll be physically fit, but how well-rounded are they? And you got to do that for all the children.
Good. Well, with that being said, did anybody? Huh?
I said, always remember to support them in all things.
That's true.
Support.
That is true. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this show. It was a nice show, but I got to get to the outlets.
See y'all. If you want to become a sponsor, remember to DM us or email at PodcastIAmShe@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys next Saturday. Oh, that's cute. I like that bit.
Why I gotta be the one live? Oh.